just wonder if you could sum up how you feel about your roster right now. For example, do you think you have a better or stronger roster now than you did when the season ended?
I think it's far too early, Kevin, to say how we feel about it in this exact moment. We still have a good amount of cap space. We're still waiting for this is kind of the second wave of the forward market to sort itself out. And I probably think it's a better question for me to answer in a few days or closer to camp, and just in terms of my expectations. But in terms of the players that we have here and the players that are returning, we're expecting major growth and continued development from them. But we're going to continue to try to improve things and make them better here.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll go to Stephen Wino with the Associated Press. Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Kyle.
Stephen, you cut out there.
He's on
yeah,
mute.
sorry, Kyle.
No worries.
You guys ended up with Mrazek, but I'm curious, what was the goalie market like out there? There were a lot of teams looking. There were a lot of goaltenders available. What was it like, kind of wading through those waters today?
Yeah, I mean, there's been obviously lots of talks and discussions about it. It's goaltending, so it's a hugely important position for everybody. And we were fortunate going in that we already have Jack Campbell, who we feel very strongly about, but we just felt we needed to find a strong partner for him and so that we can have as good a tandem as possible. We felt we achieved that with Petr Mrazek today. So, it's obviously, you see the AAVs of the different goaltenders that are coming in. There's obviously different terms and AAVs at the very high end of the market, and expansion played a role in that with Ronnie drafting and signing Dreger right off the hop. So we just really wanted someone with a good long track record of being a very good goaltender in the league. And obviously from that point on, it was trying to find the best value for us, which we feel we did with Petr Mrazek today.
Next up, we'll go to Mark Masters, TSN. Go ahead, Mark.
Kyle, what do you like the most about Mrazek? Why was he an attractive option for you guys?
I think his track record, Mark, of success. He's also been a very good tandem partner in Carolina for the last number of years. We like his competitiveness, like the fact that he's behind the scenes and everything else about him checks out as being very, very strong. He spoke when I spoke to him today after we got everything wrapped up and done. He was very open about how he sees himself in that partnership with Jack, and it's about supporting each other but pushing one another. It's I think that part of it was important to us as well. We really like Jack a lot, and we really wanted to find somebody that could also be a good partner for him and not be destructive in that regard. And that's why we went with Petr.
You mentioned the second wave of the forward market. What's still on your to-do list this offseason? Yeah,
we'll just continue to monitor that. We'll also look at the bottom end of our defense group, Mark, and continue to just monitor these forwards. There's still quite a few forwards out there, even this afternoon, and that's pretty normal for free agency. I just think we've got a great opportunity here for a forward that maybe doesn't get what they want on the first go round, that looks at our group and looks at what we've lost in free agency ourselves and what's moved on, and now can look at this and say, geez, that's a pretty good opportunity for me particularly as a winger to play with our forward group as it's currently constructed. So we'll just sit back and wait, and I think the right player will think this is a great opportunity for them. And we'd also like to head into the year with some cap space to let it accrue so we can stay flexible as we go through the season.
Next up, we'll go to Terry Cochin with the Toronto Sun. Go ahead, Terry.
Hey, Kyle. Good afternoon. I know on Saturday you'd said that, depending on how things went free agency-wise for you, you'd turn to the trade market possibly. Is even taking into account what you've done today and taking into account what you may or may not have left under the cap, do you still anticipate anything trade-wise at all, or how do you look at that right now?
Right now, I don't sense that anything is imminent, Terry. I think that was more of our view, probably, or my view, in looking back at maybe what I said on Saturday at the goaltender market. But we were able to get Tim Mrazek done today, so we feel good about where we're at there. I think all that said, whether it's using our remaining cap space to sign a free agent in the coming days, or whether that's through trade. We're going to continue to look at any avenues we have to improve the roster. So nothing's out of the card. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility here for us.
Thanks.
Next up, we'll go to Mike Agello with the Hockey News. Go ahead, Michael.
Good afternoon, Kyle. Regarding the signing of Michael Bunting, you know him from his days with the Sioux. He had a lot of success in a small window with the Coyotes last year. What do you imagine his role will be with the Leafs this season?
Yeah, I think with regards to Michael, obviously, know him from that time, but that's 7 years gone by now for me. Have watched him grow and develop in Tucson and with Arizona in the subsequent years since he's turned pro. And I think that the things that we like about him are how hard he plays, how tenacious he is, getting to the net front, ability to score at the net front. He started to show that this year at the NHL level. I think obviously the puck went in for him at a high rate this year, and he's going to have to continue to earn his opportunities to continue to score once that shooting percentage kind of comes down a little bit. But we just look at him as somebody that's extremely hungry. He's a Group 6 free agent, so younger than a lot of the others, Mike. And we know the way he's going to play every single day. He's going to leave everything he has out on the ice, and has the ability to play with good players as he showed in Arizona, and contribute and score in and around the net, which I think is important with our group all throughout. So he'll get a big opportunity, but he's going to have to earn everything that he gets. But I think in talking to him here this afternoon, he looks at this as a great opportunity. Maybe there was more for him elsewhere in terms of dollars and such, is what he told me, but he wants to be here in Toronto, and just views it as a good fit for the style of player he is with our group of forwards. And I can't argue with him on that. I think we need somebody like him and a few guys like him to be competitive, to bring that tenacity and also the ability to make plays and score.
We'll take a few more here. We'll go to Dave McCarthy with NHL.com. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Kyle, to that end, is that more or less what attracted you about Curtis Gabriel as well, and the type of style that he plays, that tougher, rambunctious, energetic style that you felt could be a fit with your group?
Yeah, I think, Curtis last year came on to the scene. He had made a big impact in San Jose. I just really like everything that Curtis is about, Dave, frankly. And I think we know what we're going to get from him in terms of his effort level, his passion every single day, and his work rate on the ice, on the forecheck, the physicality part of it. It's interesting looking back a few summers. He skated at Ford Performance Center every day. So and after our players had come and gone on their voluntary ice. And, just seeing the amount of work he puts into his game, his skating, and trying to improve his skill set. So I think he'll be a great fit for our development program. And he's certainly going to make his presence known with who he is and how he goes about his business. So, we think he's a player that kind of just jumped onto the scene more so last year, and with the way the season was with San Jose. But it's obviously played in the NHL a lot previous seasons with New Jersey, and so we're excited to have him, and think he'll add a lot to our whole organization, and both on the ice and off the ice.
We'll take two more here. We'll go to Jonas Siegel with The Athletic. Go ahead, Jonas.
Hey, Kyle, I'm just wondering what it's like going into a free agent market like this with not a lot of cap space.
Yeah, I actually thought, Jonas, that this is maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought this is more space than we've had. We obviously had some committed to the goaltender and knew we were going to have to commit to the goalie, and so I felt that we did have flexibility to be in the conversations. Maybe we weren't in the big game hunting section of it here, but that's fine with us. And now we still have quite a bit of flexibility in space. I don't know what the public number would be on that, but internally here, we still feel we have a good amount of space to stay flexible, especially as we get into the second wave of player. So, would you like to have a copious amount of space each and every year? Sure. But it's in the flat cap situation that we're in. It's generally going to be pretty tough to do that. So, especially with the commitments that we've made to our core that we deeply believe in. So it's just trying to dance around the edges of it and find the right group around our core players that can continue to push us over the top. So that's what we're going to continue to do here and work our way through the summer and into the fall and stay flexible. take some risks on guys that need a second chance, or that we feel are just about to pop, and try to bring them in here and get the most out of them playing alongside our group.
And the last one here, we'll go back to Kevin Mcgrath with the Toronto Star. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hi, Kyle, again. Just wonder if you could just say a few words about maybe David Kampf, Brendan Manel, some of the guys that you weren't specifically asked about, just what you like about what they bring to you.
Sure, I can go down the list if it's helpful for everybody. Camp, I don't know how many times I've asked Stan about him over the years, but a lot. We just feel that he's a center that's able to really take on very difficult assignments, both in the penalty kill in terms of defensive zone starts and drive play up the ice despite that. And we feel he has tremendous defensive value. And last year, puck didn't go in for him, but he still had a very positive effect on them when we watched them. And once they didn't qualify him, we just kind of were circling that, waiting to pounce. And we're excited to be able to bring him into the fold. I just think he opens up so many options for the top end of our group because of the types of minutes that he can eat up and be very productive in, not just be hemmed in and kind of sit in the middle of the ice and try to park the bus per se. He's able to drive the play up the rink despite very difficult usage, and also be very good for the penalty kill, which is obviously losing a key member in Zach Hyman. So that's the story on David. We think he has more to give offensively, but give Sheldon more options to shift guys to the wing and be more offensive, knowing that he's got David there in that role. So we were excited to have him and get him locked in for the 2 years. Gabriel, I've talked about. Bunting, I've talked about. Manel, one of the things that we thought with him was that when Minnesota made him available, he had a very good year last year in the KHL. Our scouts have liked him for some time, going back to his final year in Iowa before he went over to the KHL. And it was made clear to us when he was put up for trade that he was going to be coming back. So we just saw it as a low risk proposition. If he ends up hitting, then Minnesota will get that pick, and they'll be happy as well. But we just think he thinks the game very well offensively, and could be somebody that can challenge for those offensive minutes with our team. Biega is a veteran, great character, veteran player, strong, physical, really competitive, tremendous person. Has spent the last number of seasons in the NHL. He's on a two-way here with us. It's important for he and his family to be in a city where both teams are here. We know he's going to give us everything he has when he's up at the NHL level, and if he's in the American League with the Marlies, he'll be a great leader and top four defenseman there, which will help our young D. And Dahlstrom, we've liked going back to his time in Chicago. Going back to my first in 2018-19, he was on a pair with Connor Murphy for a time there, playing against, certainly when they played against us, against our best players, just like the way he takes away space in the neutral zone and is able to eat up those minutes against very good competition. And so we were happy to get them both and get everybody like that into the fold here. They're not those signings aren't the ones that probably carry the most attention and press, but they're vitally important for us in the organization in terms of depth and function up and down. So that's sort of the ins and outs of those ones.
One more here. Sorry, we'll go back to Mark Masters. Go ahead, Mark.
Kyle, what intrigues you about Josh Hosang?
Well, I've watched Josh now for a long time. Really going back to, I think it was 2010 or 11. The first time I saw him, he was called up as an underage with the Marlies, and he was drafted. It was in the 2012 draft. We had to pick in the Sioux between Jared McCann, he and Robbie Fabry was what our pick came down to. So obviously dug into him a lot, and then watched him play in the OHL for a long time, and kind of followed him through with the Islanders. And obviously it hasn't hit for him yet. And last year he kind of bounced around a little bit. Same with the year before. We just view it as a supremely talented player that was a zero risk proposition on PTO. And so we'll bring him in. He'll start to train with our staff at Ford Performance Center here in the coming weeks, and kind of get to know our program and the way it operates. And come training camp, he'll be given every opportunity to go out and do what he does, which is make plays and use his mobility and playmaking, which we think could be a good fit with us. But for us, it's giving him an opportunity to kind of show where he's at. It's kind of at that point for him. He's 25 years old now, or about to be 25, and it's kind of a make or break situation for Josh. So we're happy that he elected to take the tryout with us, and we'll look forward to seeing him in training camp.